Much has been documented about President McAllister's childhood, but nothing written could ever answer the most interesting questions. Was the man so often referred to as the great believer, a believer from the beginning?
Well, I guess with the names Jack and Bobby, the political career wasn't entirely unexpected.
So many men and women have tried to tell us over the years why they're presidential, but he just was.
In every presidency, there is a defining moment.
When people ask me my greatest accomplishment, I inevitably reference that time.
A time that they said would never come, when the wheels of despair, apathy, entropy are rolled backward. A time when hope is reborn.
He saw some dark hours during his presidency. And it was in those times he used to say, the wrong brother became president.
President Robert Browning McAllister, a remarkable leader presiding over tumultuous times. Over the course of this documentary, we've examined President McAllister's administration through an intimate lens of those who knew him best and were most affected by his vision and leadership, those whose lives would have been so much less if Robert McAllister had not chosen to serve. That critical choice to transform himself from a private to a public person in the service of first his state and then his country can be traced directly back to a day when McAllister traveled to Huntsville, Texas in the spring of 2005.
Why do adults always pack for trips like a week before they go?
24 hours is hardly a week. I suppose I could wait until the last minute, but that would just ensure leaving something behind that was crucial, like, a toothbrush.
Are you looking forward to seeing your friends? It's gonna be fun and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you met Meg and Gail.
Just why Huntsville? I mean, like they only have one movie theater and a strip mall. I looked it up online.
No, why would you do that?
I don't know. You guys go there every year. I wanted to see what the big deal was.
The big deal is that we've known each other for 20 years and we see each other for one weekend every 12 months.
Well, the guy at the front desk said
Wait. You called the hotel?
Yeah, and he said that there wasn't much there except for prison.
There's other things. Just also happens to be a prison.
Is he there?
Is who there?
Dad. Is he in that prison in Huntsville?
Where on earth did you get the idea that your father was in prison?
Just say no and I'll believe you.
I've told you about this trip for years. You've met Meg and Gail. I mean, what is the matter with you?
Just tell me he's not there.
Go get your brother.
You told us he went back to Mexico. You told us he got deported, and you didn't know where he was and that you hadn't talked to him since I was 3.
I'm aware of the enormity of this.
Like, it's not bad enough you told us this crazy lie about who he was, but you left out the only thing we would actually care about, which is he's alive and here.
It wasn't 2 lies per se, Jack. It was really just...
Just tell us the rest.
It's really nothing else to tell. I mean...
Tell us everything you know about him and don't leave out where he is and why he's there.
He had meant to return to Mexico, but on his way down through Texas, he fell in with a negative element. Understand, this was the first time your father ever did anything remotely illegal, ever. And he never would have done it had he not...
Done what?
He and 2 other men robbed a store. There was a gun involved, and someone got hurt. One of the other men must have gotten scared, I guess, and his gun went off, and your father was arrested and sentenced to incarceration in Huntsville.
And you knew about this?
I knew he did something bad.
So did I. I just didn't know we were talking 50 to life.
Jack, I only did what he asked me to do.
That's great. What about what we wanted? Did anybody think about that?
I promised him I wouldn't tell you.
Good. Well, it's good that you know how to keep a promise to someone. It's just too bad it's not us.
I want to meet him.
Bobby, under the circumstances, I don't think...
You have to take me.
Well, I just don't think it's a very good idea, okay?
I want to see him.
No.
I'm gonna meet him. With or without you, so you decide. You're gonna take me or not.
December 7th, 1941. Ask not what your country can do for you.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are caught at war wanting peace.
An ever-expanding American dream.
We must go forward as one nation.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
It's impossible to chart a history of Robert McAllister without also tracing the meteoric rise and tragic fall of his older brother, Jack. Jack McAllister is described by those who knew him best as a man of action. Right or wrong, his choices were his own.
Hey, how about a smile?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're going to pretend to be in a good mood, it might help sell it a bit more.
I am in a good mood.
Come on, Jack, it's meat. What is it?
Nothing. Just... If there was some way that you could see your mom again, would you?
Yeah, not even a question.
Really? Because by,
Committing suicide?
I mean, it's like... are you mad that she...
Oh, left me and Chloe with Mr. Robot Man? Sometimes. But I guess I don't think she really had a choice. Why?
I don't know. I was just thinking, whatever, if I'd even want to see him again. If I could, given what he did.
Yeah, just because someone leaves doesn't necessarily mean they want to. Maybe your dad...
He's not my dad. He hasn't been my dad since I was 2. And if he'd stayed around, not even been some great dad, just been around, maybe my mom wouldn't be so much like my mom,
Well, personally, I think your mom would be intense even if your dad hadn't left.
But maybe she'd be happier. And if she was happier, it'd all be different. Everything would have been different.
If my mom hadn't died, we wouldn't have moved to Hart. This year wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't know you.
Hey. What's going on?
Nothing. Just gonna run to the bathroom.
All by yourself? Thought you guys needed partners to do that.
Very funny.
As if that weren't travesty enough. A version of copious resources from academic studies to a sports complex. I mean, what kind of message does that send the student body about our values, about why they're here, about...
As tempting as it is to engage in such fruitful debate as your opposition to the building of a building which has already been built, you should know that the person you've been looking over my shoulder for during the last 10 minutes of your scintillating critique isn't here and won't be coming.
I'm sorry.
I spoke with his father earlier today. He was annoyed that the prodigal son would not be returning.
I didn't want to talk to him. I just wanted to look really good. Instead, I look really ridiculous.
No, you don't look ridiculous. You look, great.
Oh, thank you.
I may dance like a geezer, but I know a good-looking woman when I see one.
Why, Peter, I didn't...
What? You didn't know I was looking? Yes, you did. And I was all along.
Well, why didn't you...
I think I see some donor money burning a hole in its well-appointed pocket. I'll see you next fall, Grace.
Another sleepover? Hope someone else is in charge of the porn.
I'm going with Mom tomorrow. To Texas.
She's taking you?
Yeah. She said you could come too.
No thanks.
What? You don't want to see him?
Why? So he can tell me what? About other families he might have left? What he likes to do in prison? What's this?
Hey, they're just some pictures.
When'd you get these taken?
Today?
You got these for him?
Why, you don't think I'll like them?
You cannot be serious about taking Bobby to Texas with you.
I know. He's setting himself up. I just don't see how I can stop him from going.
Don't let him get in the car with you.
Look, your brother is resolved, and he's not a kid anymore. If I don't take him, he'll go the instant he's old enough to make the trip himself. At least this way I can be there to manage the fallout.
You're gonna manage the fallout?
Yeah? Where are you going?
To pack. I'm going with you.
Jack was determined in everything he did, which is why when water shortages drew the United States into Mexico's conflict with South America, he chose over his family's passionate objections to join the fight. 2 short months after he was commissioned, Jack McAllister found himself serving on the front lines of the War of the Americas.
You're doing it wrong. It's not supposed to be dirtier than when you started, Duke. Here, let me show you.
What is it about a road trip that makes me want to stuff my face with synthetic powdered cheese products? Jack, you're doing it all wrong. Come on. Got it. Okay. Now, when we last left our audiobook, The Middle Ages, Darkness and Light, we were learning about the Black Death. Now, what was the estimated population loss over the whole of Europe?
1/3, and in some places it took 150 years to get back to the pre-plague population.
So good, Bobby. Oh, by the way, the man inside said there was a mini golf course a few exits up the road. You guys want to stop?
Yeah.
No.
Come on, it'll be fun.
This is not a vacation.
Yeah, it is in a way. I mean, how often do we all travel together? We never get to do things like this anymore.
We're not on a road trip to Disneyland. We're going to see our father, who abandoned us and who you lied to us about for our entire lives in prison.
It doesn't mean we can't still enjoy the open road.
Lance Corporal McAllister was injected into the War of the Americas. The invasion of Panama was an utter failure. Jack's unit was to go in first and secure the high ground, but things didn't go as planned. Colombian forces, tipped off to the operation, were waiting. Outnumbered and outgunned, the soldiers
could not escape the choking stench of the vast rivers of carnage. It truly was the Dark Ages. End of disc 4. Please insert disc 5.
No, wait. I don't think I have disc 5.
Oh, damn. I really wanted to know what happened with the rivers of carnage.
So did you tell him I was coming?
Yeah, she called him on his cell phone and told him to put on his best striped prison uniform and leg irons.
Bobby, would you mind getting the sandwiches out of the back that I made for you? Thank you.
What is it?
Bread, mayonnaise, mustard, meat, a few bean sprouts. I think they call it a sandwich.
Oh,
fine. You know, call child services. I abused you with food. Fine. But you know what? It turned out all right. And by the way, when I was your age, I would have killed to have a mother like me.
you say so.
Yeah, I am one cool mom. All right. That's it.
Yes!
Oh, good shot, Bobby.
Hole in one. But even if he doesn't know that I'm coming, he still knows stuff about me, right?
He knows everything about you.
Yeah, but, like, does he ask questions about me? Does he know that I'm into space? Does he know about Warren? I mean, like, wait, he speaks English, right?
Yes, he speaks English.
But did he when he was living with us?
Yeah, he read his stories and gave us advice. But his father knows best with Spanish subtitles.
On Sunday mornings, Bobby, he used to cook breakfast for us all while I slept in, because I would work a double shift as a waitress on Saturdays, and he would let Jack hold the spatula. You used to love being his little helper.
Wow. We're like straight out of seventh heaven. Such a wholesome family. Pothead mom, convict dad.
Okay, that's enough, Jack.
Seriously, he sounds like a really awesome guy. I love the part where he leaves us when you're 6 months pregnant and ends up in jail for 10 years.
Okay, Bobby, would you mind getting us some soda from the machine over there? Thanks. Okay, you have every right to hate me for lying to you about your father and to hate him for leaving you, but don't punish your brother.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. He's excited about this. This means something to him. You're deliberately ruining it.
Ruining what? This little adventure into the penal system where Bobby discovers the perfect father he's always
idolized. He knows
idolized.
who his father is now, okay?
Oh, yeah, he knows what you wanted to tell him.
This was his decision. I think he can handle it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What if he can't? Now, what happens then? What happens when he finds out the truth? The whole truth. He did something much worse than rob a store if he's still in there. And if you think Bobby can handle it so well, how come you're still lying to us about it? You think finding out after he meets him isn't going to mess up Bobby for the rest of his life? I'll be in the car. I've had enough fun for one day.
His men watched him go, charging as fast as he could into a hellstorm of enemy fire. They watched him take a bullet to the shoulder. Another grazed his neck. He ran on, gaining ground, getting closer to cover, until, mere feet from the tank, he collapsed. Ironically, it wasn't a bullet that brought him down, but an old knee injury. It crippled him, but the tank was close, so he crawled.
Man. Well, what are you doing?
I was thinking about wearing this tomorrow. Do you think it's okay?
I think it's great, Bobby. You look really handsome.
Cool. Do you think, like, do you think that when he gets out, he'll want to move back to Missouri so we can see us on the weekends?
I don't know, Bobby. I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself.
Well, he's got to go somewhere. I mean, should I ask him?
Let's talk about it after, okay?
Why? You don't think he'll want to see us on the weekends?
Yeah, I do. I think he would if he could. I just don't think he'll be able to.
What do you mean? Why not?
Because he's not getting out. Because he's serving a life sentence.
But why? I mean, he just robbed a store.
It wasn't just a robbery, Bobby. I mean, it was, but that isn't quite the whole story. Okay, that cashier who was shot, your father was holding the gun at the time.
Killed him?
Your father has maintained his innocence all along. I mean, I don't
think he did it? Do you?
I think that he had never robbed anyone before, and he was supposed to just be watching the door, and he had never even seen a real gun, so I think that it went off accidentally. I mean, I don't think that he meant to do what he did.
But He did it. He killed someone.
I wanted to wait and tell you the whole story after you met him so that you could meet him and not what he did. You know, meet him. Do you understand? Bobby? Bobby, you okay? Where's your inhaler?
I'll get it.
Slow, deep breath, Bobby. Slow down, slow down. Where's the inhaler?
I'm looking for it.
I'm okay. Bobby, take long, deep breaths, honey. Slow, deep breaths, Bobby.
Here it is.
That's it. Come on. Here. Here you go.
I'm okay.
Here.
I'm okay now.
Bobby, just take it.
Stop! I do not need it. I'm fine.
You sure you're alright?
Yeah.
I mean your asthma.
I told you I'm fine. God, I can't believe she never told me. How can you wait to tell us until now? God, I hate her. She let me think that he was this great guy.
You know, a couple years ago, when I found out that he wasn't actually dead, he was just gone, I used to think he'd come back. For some reason, I always imagined him taking me fishing. Even though I've never been fishing and I don't really want to go fishing. I guess I just really wanted him to take me.
I wanted him to take me to the Smithsonian. In D.C.?
I know where the Smithsonian is, dude. God, even your daydreams are for nerds.
Maybe he didn't do it.
Not likely. Don't you think if he was innocent, Mom would be out picketing the prison 24/7?
I wish she didn't tell me.
Don't say that.
I do.
No, you don't. Wanting to know the truth is what keeps us from being a lunatic like she is.
I don't want a murderer for Dad. I want the old one back.
The old one wasn't real. Tomorrow you actually get to meet the real one.
I don't want the real one.
Bobby, what he did has nothing to do with you. It doesn't mean anything about who you are or who you're going to be. You understand that, don't you?
I guess.
You're going to be better than him.
Duh. I mean, he's in jail for murder.
No, I mean, you're going to be better than all the lies she told you about him. Look. Hey. Even though we may never have a real father, or a mother who's not a total whack job, but we'll always have each other, okay?
By sheer force of will and the strength, mental and physical, to haul his ruined body those last painful feet, Jack reached the tank to save his brothers in arms.
Bobby! Hey, you're not even dressed yet? Honey, you have to hurry. Visiting hours start at 10.
I'm not going.
What? Why not?
Because I don't want to go anymore.
Wait. Okay, you don't want to meet him now? We just traveled all the way to Texas. I mean, you practically forced me to bring you.
That was before I knew.
Oh, come on. I told you he was in jail, that he'd be there a long time. I mean, I told you...
You didn't tell me that he was a murderer.
Okay. He's a man who made a lot of mistakes. He also gave me you and Jack, you know? And some of the best memories of my life.
Well, he didn't give any of them to me.
Okay, listen to me, Bobby. Bobby, your father has been punished for what he did and will continue to be for his whole life. And I have no doubt that the most bitter part of this whole ordeal is for him to be unable to know his sons. Okay. This is your choice to make. Just understand that I'm going to see him today. And I might not come back next year. I might never see him again. This, right now, this is your chance.
I don't have all day, you know.
Give me a minute. It takes a lot of concentration to encapsulate an entire year into one cliche.
Especially this year. I still don't know how some of it turns out.
Yeah? Like what?
Like you and me.
Like you said, it was a big year.
So, what? To just drop everything?
I've been thinking about this a lot. All right, this thing we did. But Jack did. And you were his girl first.
I was never his girl.
But you were the one he wanted. Come on, I could see it in your eyes, even if you won't admit it to yourself.
I wasn't lying, Marcus. I really liked you.
I know you did. You liked hanging out. So did I. But you didn't like me the way you liked him. And you won't. Trust me, I've been in the shadow long enough to know. You guys should have your shot. Now, whether or not you take it, that's up to you. There.
You done already? Sure don't want to take more time, figure out the perfect cliche.
I think I got it right.
Here you go.
This is great.
Well, I know how fond you are of Stephen King's oeuvre.
You want to give me a lecture, don't you? I should be reading better books. I always tell you, you bring them, I'll read them. But, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'd be stuck with the, In Touch magazine at the library.
Yeah, well, listen, this trip, I have someone here with me. One of your sons wants to see you. He's waiting inside.
I told you I didn't want them to know about me.
I know. It seems they had other plans.
Ay, Dios mío, Grace. What do I say to him?
I don't know. I ask myself that every single day. Just talk to him. Juan, this is Jack.
You grew. Your mother brings me pictures, but it's not the same.
She gave you the one of me in that bad blue suit?
Yeah.
I hate that picture.
It's not my favorite. I got one of you running. She said you're good at that.
Look, we don't have to do this, you know. Like small talk.
It's not like I got somewhere else to be.
So what's it like in here? I mean, what do you do all day?
Not much. I got a job, a laundry, most of the day. I get to play ball a couple of hours. I read a lot, thanks to your mother.
Sounds kind of awful. So, where are you from?
Colima, it's a city in Mexico. I swear I grew up. Your mother don't tell you this?
She never told us much about you.
She still using that one about the architect?
Archaeologist.
She's a tough one, your mother.
Tell me about it.
She's a good one, too. Things were never easy for your mother and me, even after I learned English. The one thing we could always talk about was you. How you grow up so fast. How smart you got. How you bust her balls. I remember she told me how you finally got rid of that blanket you used to carry around. I call it your salvavidita, because you carry it everywhere like a life jacket.
I remember that, actually. You remember me from back then?
Are you kidding? I remember when you were blonde. First couple of months before it turned like this, like me. Man, you used to cry a lot. Nights.
Must have been pretty bad.
It was.
But you left. It couldn't have been great. Because I used to wonder, did you leave because of me? Because having a kid was just too...
No, Mio, no. That's not it. I leave because... I got a lot I want to say, but I can't get it right, you know. You speak any Spanish?
Sorry.
We got a word, it's sanguera. It means idiot, I think. That was me. I messed things up. It's what I did with your mother and me. It's what I was doing in my whole life. I done some bad things, Mio. Some stupid things. If I could take anything I did in my life back, it was when it all went bad for me. The day I leave you.
So what do we do now?
I don't know. I wasn't really expecting this today. If you like, I could write to you maybe. Say hi sometime. If you want, you could write me back. Tell me about you, your mother, your brother.
Sure. That'd be good.
After the war, Jack's decision to become a public defender was puzzling. That is, until the truth about his father surfaced. It seems Jack McAllister's choice to devote his life to the wrongly accused could be traced back to a warm spring day in Huntsville, Texas, on May 11th, 2005.
Come in. Bobby, do we have chess on the books? Because I'm pretty sure I've got a meeting about repairs to the history building in about 5 minutes.
No, I just wanted to come by, say hi or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, hi. Anything else? I'm guessing there is because you're here. And, you're looking at me kind of funny. You know, sometimes you're a pretty weird kid, Bobby.
I went to meet my dad yesterday.
Oh.
I never met him before, like ever, and my mom took me to Texas to see him.
Well, that's good.
Not really. I mean, I decided not to meet him. Jack went. I stayed in the hotel.
How come?
It's complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sit down.
I wanted to go at first, but then I thought, I don't know, he's not really my dad, you know? I mean, he is my father, I guess, but he doesn't know anything about me.
Well, maybe he'd like to.
So what? Why should I pretend that some guy I never even met who ran away before I was born is like my dad? I mean, you've spent like 50 times more time with me than my real dad ever will, probably.
I see.
Yeah, and it just made me think about how cool you've been. You're not even my uncle, and you do all these things with me. I just want to say thank you for all that.
Well, you're welcome. Very welcome. Been my pleasure. Really.
I got a picture taken of me. I know it's kind of dumb, but I thought you might want it.
No one was more admiring of Jack than his younger brother, watching with pride as Jack won his first trial and his second and third, cheering on as Jack eclipsed even the fame he had achieved as a war hero. And as Jack sought to do even more, Bobby was the one who found a way. It's one of the great ironies of history that it was Bobby who suggested his brother run for Congress.
"3 p.m., Jefferson Park." Mysterious.
Figured that way you'd come.
I would have come anyway.
So, how's your trip?
Surprising. Strange. I'm glad I went, though. So thanks for the advice.
Hey, that's me. Right choices are us. Not.
So what is this, like, my dad's driving me crazy, I gotta get out of the house meeting?
No,
or...
I was just thinking, after we talked before.
About your mom?
No, I was just thinking about stuff. About us. Okay, about you. About how I wanted something to happen with you, and then I got scared, so I hesitated, and then that door kind of closed.
Yeah, well, I guess you can't dwell, right? I mean, you're with Marcus now.
Well, except I'm not. He decided, and I agreed. And he actually kind of wondered why I wasn't with you.
You said that?
And I kind of realized that I was wondering that too.
You know, I've always felt something, right? I wouldn't let myself think about it. It was never the right time.
And if you still think it's not, I understand. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, and we don't have to mention this ever again. I thought I should let you know, just in case. Wow. I guess that's a yes.
No one saw it coming. A random act of violence, a dark day in American history when William Walker Adams robbed a convenience store and in the process shot and killed the store's owner, the clerk, and 3 patrons, including Jack McAllister, war hero, distinguished attorney, father of 2, and congressman for the 22nd District of Missouri. Bobby would say of his brother's death, he was the greatest man the world would never know.
The beginning. I was there at the beginning, so I suppose I have a certain perspective on what happened after Jack died. It was the death of that family, really, and it was the beginning of the end for Grace. Although she outlived Jack by many years, I know she felt from that moment that her best days were behind her. And Bobby, he was inconsolable. Then he got the call. Ordinarily, the spouse of a deceased congressman or woman inherits their seat. But Jack's wife didn't want it. So the Democrats asked Bobby.
Mom signed me up for summer enrichment classes.
Of course she did.
What are you going to do over break?
I don't know. Work at JR's, hang out.
Hang out with Courtney?
Maybe. Depends.
Depends on what.
How annoying you are. Don't forget to save something for sprints at the end. I'll be right behind you.
You're not gonna sprint, though.
Couldn't even if I wanted to.
The doctor said you can run on that some if you let it heal for a year.
Some isn't running. And worry about yourself. You're gonna have to train hard if you want to make the team.
Come on. I didn't even make first cut in JV this year.
That's because you're short and slow. We're gonna have to fix both by next season. You've already grown like a foot since then.
Do you really think I can get faster?
You train right.
If I got on the team, I'd be cool, right? I would, right?
You are so hopeless.
Watch it. I could be taller than you next year. I could kick your ass.
You could never kick my ass.
Why not?
Because you're my little brother. No matter how big you get, you'll always be smaller than me. Try to keep up, McAllister.
No fair. You got a head start.
Thought you were getting taller. Thought you could kick my ass.
I can.
I encouraged Bobby to run again after he'd served the remainder of Jack's term, this time for himself. I said, run as a Republican if that's what your heart tells you to do. I said Jack would have wanted it that way. I believe Jack, more than anyone, always expected his little brother to surpass him. He'd have been proud.
Switching parties, becoming an independent, governing by his own conscience rather than his brother's, transformed Bobby's term in Congress and transported him from Congress to the governorship to the presidency.
Before any of us knew it, he was standing on the steps of the Capitol, taking the oath of office and delivering the first of two historic inaugural addresses.
As strong as the marble of the Jefferson Memorial, as tall and proud as the Statue of Liberty, this spirit, the same spirit that brought the Mayflower to these shores, lives today in the great ship we call America. A proud ship of state, racing the dawn of a new tomorrow. A tomorrow in which we extend the hand of friendship and bury the fist of war. A tomorrow where man shall know the respect of every other man. This is the dream of our founding fathers and the charge we owe to our children. It is our life's work, and it is not done yet.